What is up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Brad from the Rules of Villainy podcast, coming at you with another local meta report in which I showcase the latest and greatest in Disney Lorcana decks on the competitive league nights here in St. Louis, Missouri throughout the past week, showcasing its players, the stores, all the fun stuff that come along with playing this game. We are 2 weeks into the Arcasia's Island Set Championship season, which has been wild. I do have separate videos for those. I implore you to check those out as well. We have 2 more weeks of those, including this weekend here, before we are in the reign of Jafar, which is just baffling to me. It feels like the set just kind of came and went so quickly. I can't believe that we're here. But ultimately, what I'm trying to say is just a couple more weeks here in Arcasia's Island before everything changes again for Jafar. So that being said, we have 5 unique decks here this week from the competitive nights. So let's take a look at each of them. All right, our first deck this week comes from the Collector Store League on Tuesday nights out in St. Peter's. We have Hunter of Boo Hunter fame here in the Rules of Villainy podcast lore, if you will. It's all in jest. We love Hunter to death. Road trip with him all the way out to Atlanta for the DLCs, actually. But we're not doing story time right now. I guess we could, because we've talked about this deck at least 3 times on this series. It is his Steel Song. He's finding a lot of success with it between leagues and the set championships, where he did get his Hero Hamada card. The big difference here between this and the other Steel Song variant currently is that he's running the Robin Hood package instead of the Queens, and he's finding success with it. Still continuing to be 3-0 on his league nights. Another thing I always like to point out is that I really love the shift Cindy there at the 7 slot, playing her on 5 and just wrecking the board with whatever you can. Great deck. Congratulations to Hunter. We'll see how this deck continues to evolve as we approach and enter the reign of Jafar. All right, moving on to Manticore Game Shop on Thursday nights out in O'Fallon, Missouri. Steven, Captain Inkswell himself, with the Reign of Jaflurple, a Sapphire Amethyst deck that is not the traditional Blurple that we've known for the last several sets. In fact, it is quite different, and I've been having a lot of fun with it myself. If you want a real big deep dive into this deck, check out last week's video where I spent a lot of time editing in cards and talking about the functionality of this deck. Ideally, what you're trying to do instead of the bounce package that we have with Merlin, that's all gone. We entered the new Jafar, or not the new Jafar, the set 3 Striking Illusionist Jafar, and item recursion with the new Tamatoa with the lamp to try to draw out the cards for the lore with the Exerta Jafar. So it's a lot. I can't stress enough how much fun this deck is, and to see Steven finding even more success with it, another 3-0 week here or there at Manticore Game Shop is fantastic. This is the deck I'm probably going to ride out into the sunset of Arcasia's Island, because it's just so much fun to play, and I've always been the Blurple guy here in St. Louis, and now we might have a new one. Steven is doing so well with it, so congratulations to him, and we will probably be seeing him again in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, I have breaking news out at Manticore Game Shop in O'Fallon, Missouri. Megan, our very own Megan, has moved away from Amethyst Steel, where she's had great success for the last several weeks here on the Meta Report, and even in the set championships current. She is now on the Amethyst Emerald Birds deck that we've been seeing be so successful here locally for the last several weeks, leading into the set championships. And it's no surprise to me that she is on this, because as a sweet Mother's Day present from her husband, John, she got to fill out her playset of Enchanted Diablo. So it makes sense that she's on this this new deck and finding success with it as well. Megan's a great player, and she picked up this deck and brought it to another 3-0 at Manticore with Steven. They never got to cross paths, wondering how that matchup would have gone, because I've been in that exact same matchup with another local, and it's a very testing matchup. I would love to see that have played out, but didn't need to this week. Another 3-0 with Megan, new deck, the Birds. We've talked about this one over and over again, between the peeking from the 1-drop, the drawing from the other 1-drop, the Challenger, and the evasive from the 2-drop, and then the shift. Like, you have all these birds that are just wreaking havoc on your opponent, and Megan found success with it. So congrats to her. All right. Also on Thursday nights, we have Bodach's games, and our 3-0 this week comes from the Reckless One. Ron here with a Sapphire Ruby deck. No Hiram, no problem. Let's just load up this deck with 20 items and put every single one of them on the board and just win a Tamatoa win in 1 or 2 turns. He doesn't need the draw from Hiram because he's got the Maurice's workshop here. I've watched him play this deck for the last week in different locations, and every time I show up, he's got at least 8 items on board, and 2 of them, if not all 3 of them, are the Maurice's workshop. Big hands, big board, bunch of control with the be prepared, the Sisus, the brawls, the let it goes, everything to keep you in check while he's just ramping up his items, and then ultimately Tamatoa and Dime for win. It is very hard to deal with unless you are running Find Them and Flatten Them. It is the one deck, the one thing that will just crushed this deck. I told Kristen Monday night when I watched this matchup happen, who is a big Steel Song player here in the community, I said, I hope you are running Flatten in that deck. Otherwise, good luck. And she wasn't, and he won. And he won again Thursday night at Bodach's 3-0. So congratulations to him. Look out for this deck. It is a menace. All right, our final deck of the week comes from the Collector Store's Friday Night League, where Nick brought back Emerald Steel Discard to a 3-0 win. This deck is something it's his bread and butter. He's been on this deck for a very, very long time. It was quite surprising, I think, the last week or the week before when he wasn't playing it, because I've only known him to play this, and I've actually been surprised throughout this whole set that there wasn't a lot of Emerald Steel Discard in general, especially after the Hiram ban. But he brought it back tonight and found a 3-0 with it, and it is the same as it's ever been and as good as it's ever been, as well as we're on the final 2 weeks here in Arcasia's Island. He's got the double singer in there for the strength, the sudden chills, the let the storm. Just absolutely brutal what Ursula can do to you with a double sing ability and those songs, the protection from Pluto, the extra draw from Beast, and the spicy card, the new one from set 7 Arcasia's Island, is the Space Pirate Pete that just straight up stops people from singing, and he has his own resist and everything. Very, very strong card. Congratulations to Nick. Happy to see you back up at the top, and interested to see how this deck evolves. Again, I'm surprised we didn't see a lot more of it this set, and now I'm curious to see what happens as we're entering the reign of Jafar. So congratulations to Nick, and that's going to do it. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in for this local meta report. I enjoy doing these. I hope you enjoy them as much as I do. If you do like this content, it means so much if you could like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications so you can be notified of any kind of new content here on the Rules of Villainy channel. We have some fun things coming up. Of course, we have the podcast proper. Tuesday nights, you can hang out with Kirsten and Andy as they test different decks live here on YouTube, and you could be notified of that if you hit that bell. As we approach the reign of Jafar, we will probably be having some kind of ranking of the legendaries. Maybe I'll even do a video of just my ranking of the cards in general, what I like, what I dislike, what I think I might do. It depends on how much time that I have, but it's something that I'm definitely interested in doing because I do genuinely love doing this. So let us know what you think in the comments below on any of our content. We love the feedback. And until next time, happy questing.